So another holiday project that I'm going to make is, whoops, sorry about that noise, using these great votive holders from IKEA. I'm gonna put a Christmas village, one house per panel, and then glue it and then set them on my mantle. I started trying to draw the houses. I'm actually not that good at drawing.
See, I was trying to draw houses that look very similar to what I ended up finding as clip art on Etsy.
So I have my church with these 3 little windows, and then the 2 windows that go along the door. And I've already started cutting and already have to modify, because that piece, I had Murini that I squished, and I found one that had this beautiful radiating bands, and as I was cutting, I broke the one in the center. So I either have to find another piece to substitute for that center, which I don't think I'm going to find, or the church gets 2 windows. We will see. I'm going to use a combination of cutting the glass and Matora saw, but here is the start of my little church. I love it. Not perfect, but it'll do. Definitely wish I didn't break that disc, but it is what it is. And they're all going to be, all the windows and the door on the church are going to be curved. Instead of nipping it, I think I'll use the grinder for that. On to the next house. It'll be easier because I just need a rectangle with the points cut off, and then the windows and doors. I will put the roof line on with stringers when it gets to that point. Now I'm going to be making this out of the scrap bin. If I had planned a little better, I would have all transparent colors, but I don't, so we'll see how it turns out. I've had to stop a few times to figure out some things. And one of them that I'm puzzling with right now is the size of the tecta for the back. I'd like the votive to be hidden. So clearly this house needs a tree next to it or something because it won't be hidden. But how much do I want sticking out on either side? I've got this one, or a smaller square. And the same for the church. I want it to be taller than the one for the houses, but I'm just not sure how much taller. And that looks way too narrow. So these are, I've got 3x4s and 3x3s. And I'm contemplating this smaller 3x4. It's actually not smaller, but the 3x4 horizontally instead of vertically, and then the church would get a 4x4. But I might go 3.5. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now. What size Tecta do I use for these things? Okay, so after a little bit of playing, they're all 3.5 wide, and the houses are on 3-inch tall Tecta. The church is 3.5-inch wide by 4.5. That'll give me a little bit of room to put either a tree next to them or these little snowmen, which I have a bunch of. So the next step, I need to trim all these little pieces so that they fit tight. So I've got some grinding to do and round off the top of the windows for the church, the windows on the door, and then one window for this house up here. I was thinking for my little houses, I was going to use these laser water jet trees, but as I was digging for greens to make my wreath, I found a bunch of shards in my scrap bin that were tall, skinny triangles, and I like these trees much better. Look at how cute. And then I definitely need to get some snowmen, but today I need to do the trimming on these. I have set up a temporary station for cold working. I have the Taurus saw and a lap grinder. And so I'm going to trim up these pieces and get them ready to assemble. The Christmas Village has a lot of tiny little pieces. So I think I'm going to do the background with powder first, tack fuse those, and then I can just add all those tiny pieces on top of the back that's been done. I'm going to use light sky blue. I'm going to use white opal powder, and then I have dense white, which I'm going to put some clouds in the sky. Okay, those are ready to go in for a tack fuse to get that powder all settled, and then I will start building the village on top of them. I finished sanding, trimming, assembling the little houses, and the bases have come out of the kiln. They will need another layer of powder to darken them up a bit. But the layer I would have had to put on to do it in one step would have been way too thick. So they're in good shape. I'm going to go back, add more powder, and then put the houses on, the trees on, snowmen on, and put them back for another tack fuse. I should have put down a layer of hairspray first. I forgot. But the next step is to place the houses on the trees and the little snowmen on the bases. And these have been glued together, but they're still a little... I think we're going to put right in the middle.
I'm going to try to do it without messing up the powder like I just did. But that's where I'm going to put the tree, so that should be okay. So that's next. Assemble them on their bases and refire. Okay, so as you could see, you have to have a really gentle touch and you can't have shaky hands. Or you just keep messing up the powder. Now, it won't be super noticeable because it's light sky blue, but you still don't want it all over the place. So I'm going to finish these up, try to fix this powder as much as I can. I did lines in the windows. I'm not 100% sure if I like that. I might play with that a little bit more. I should probably just leave it alone, but we all know how that goes. And this is just glass line paint, so ouch, made that crooked. But they're going to be on the mantle, so I don't know that it's going to be super noticeable. And this is black, so I can put doorknobs on these as well. But I need a dabber. Oh, actually, if I use the other side of the pin, I could probably get away with it. Yep, beautiful. And the church, I think I'm going to leave alone because I really should have double doors, but I don't think I'll be able to pull that off. Although I could probably do it with a stringer. So let's see if that'll work. Looks like these are ready to go in the kiln. I have to decide whether or not to decorate some of those trees. I may decorate that one and that one. We'll see. I do have little dichro dots, so I may go through and see if I have teeny tiny ones. I think I got enough to decorate the trees. So I forgot to say that I did add a coating of clear powder. With all those fiddly little bits, it helps them to keep in place. This wreath, I did not put clear powder on, and you'll notice all the frit balls migrated as it was being heated. And I do not want that to happen with these. Okay, we're done and cool enough to take a peek. Oh my goodness, look at that village. How cute. Oh, I forgot to put the white frit on this one. And then the final step with my Christmas village is to glue them to the votive holders. So I've got my village glued to the votive holders. I used Gorilla Maximum Strength Construction Adhesive. It should dry clear, hold them strong, and I have them just standing up so that nothing will slide, nothing will move.
for the curing period.
The Christmas village is done, and I think it is absolutely adorable.